Hey guys, welcome back, and I think next one we're going to do is Alicia's one, isn't it? Let's do Spotty again first this time, Bo. My late daddy used to lecture me, saying it was dangerous for us to have a predictable daily routine, as the humans might be able to track our activities. Despite that, I'd developed a bad habit of visiting with fresh seafood at the corner of a street. Today, as usual, I was tank shopping with tanks of a lobby, pondering the most important question to me. What was for lunch? Fish on the left tank were all too big. Fish on the tank to my feet looked delicious. But there was only 6 of them left, and we were too obvious if I stole one. So I had to go over a tank on the top right corner. No one noticed me if one fish was missing, there were so many in it. And we had 3 bones too. Most importantly, they were really fresh. I hunched my back and was about to jump up when ears picked up a tiny noise behind me. Fiona had just come back into the lobby from her back. I quickly hid behind a tank and watched the opening rolling door. Watched the ground in front of the entrance and sat down for a wait for the first order of the day. Fiona had blonde hair and blue eyes, which was not too common in the city. The other humans called him Alex. I slinked up to the door and meowed softly, pretending I'd just arrived. Following a principle of not trusting humans, I would never intentionally expose my tracks to humans. Still, sometimes I wonder if I need to be so carefully around humans whose every move was so predictable. Take this guy for instance, I was sure he would not chase me off. Hey, here you are. Just wait for a second. A couple of minutes later, he placed a glass in front of me and poured a half glass of milk. Oh, it smells so good. Milk is truly a cat's best friend. But I realised I wouldn't be getting any fish today. I made out the owner with our cute expression. I want a full glass. He scratched his chin, seemed to understand something, and went to grab something from his cabinet. He put a few pieces of dried fish in front of me. Ugh. When his daddy passed away, I spent a whole month eating the dried fish we had saved together. Ever since then, even the sight of dried fish had been enough to make me sick. He pet me on the head. In the end, a stray cat. I didn't have a luxury to be picky about food. Besides, as long as I got along with his human, I could come back as often as much to steal more fresh fish. So I pet my neck and rubbed my head against his hand, pretending to be a docile little kitty, and meowed happily at him. For record, I was not actually happy. I was licking milk with my head down when a strong smell of alcohol almost choked me. Ugh. So I spat his phlegm into a new fish tank. Here comes trouble. A man with black hair stood in front of a shop. Half-empty beer bottle was dangling from his hand, making a splashing sound. His eyes were wandering around unfocused. Recognised him. He lived in a small house with the highest one in the community with hills. Both his wife and his son had blonde hair and blue eyes, much better looking than him. Although I had not seen him for a while, his wife had committed suicide. The owner's eyes stayed fixated on his newspaper, but his hands were barely trembling. Well, as far as I knew, the relationship between the owner and the guy's family had been complicated to say the least. Black-haired man's blonde wife had often been seen hanging around with the owner in very intimate ways. Whenever a neighbour was nearby saw them together, I would gossip about it. The owner was very concerned, the woman didn't seem to care at all. Once I heard some humans chatting with a blonde woman who had some kind of illness. What kind of illness would make people behave like that? I couldn't understand. The man had always been very nice to his wife. The wife was a dragon lady. Not only did she have an affair, she would even beat up her husband and her son. Interesting. Once I even heard her calling her own son a bastard. He looked so much like her now. How could he not be her son? Well, it was terrible. As the days went by, the man began to lose his spirit too. He couldn't go anywhere without alcohol. One who suffered most must be a little boy. He was so pretty and looked nothing like the other kids. So no other children would play with him. Sometimes I went into a boy if I had nothing else to do, I'd play with him for a while. If you happened to have some change on him, he'd even buy me some milk. Compared to his parents, the kid was almost like an angel with catnip. Anyway, it was not a normal family. The man stared at the owner for a while, his mouth squeezed out a psst. His eyes turned towards me. He crouched down and knocked over a glass. All the milk spilled out. Some even got on my paws. It wasn't the first time this happened. The owner still doesn't move at all. So I had nothing to do with him. Damn you, stupid human. How dare you interrupt my meal? You wait there. I said at the stone-faced man, waving my fist. I swear I'm going to stuff dead rats in your bed tonight. So, Spotty teaches us a little bit more about that little kid. I picked a random bottle from hundreds of bottles of fine wine in this underground wine cellar. Put it on a luxurious short table in front of the old man. He nodded with approval and popped the cork. The bright red liquid was poured out into an exquisite-looking wine glass. It was swirling and glistening like a flowing ruby. Drink it. Drink it. Drink it. I was standing next to him, sweat was pouring from my forehead. As soon as he drank the wine had just been flavoured by me, I would unquestionably become a murderer. I would no longer be a good Catholic, but I had no other choice. I would not let myself be tortured to death in this damn place, or especially not let myself die without ever seeing Carlos again. He killed so many innocent people, and every reason to send him into his final judgment in front of a Heavenly Father. Money Gia's lips had already touched the glass. When the housekeeper knocked on the door and informed him there was a visitor. A man with only one arm was sitting on a sofa in the living room. A couple of tall, muscular bodyguards were standing behind him, ready for instructions from my boss. I never seen Money Gia act more like a spineless ass-kicking weasel before. He had a most cowardly smile on his face. He seemed determined to lower himself as much as possible in front of a one-armed man. The man yawned and grabbed a bottle of flavoured wine from the table. Was he going to drink it? No. He couldn't drink that. I stepped forward. He grabbed on a bottle, emptied it with a smile on his face, and forced everything gurgling down. It was already too late. The wine and cyanide mixture went down his throat and into his stomach. He suddenly stood up with his hand grabbing the sofa, but stumbled and fell. His whole body was twitching on the floor. His hand was now grabbing his own throat, his mouth wide open. He couldn't breathe. The rest of the wine spilled out on a drop bottle, turning white velvet carpet to a bright red colour. Bodyguards all panicking. Boss Ray! Boss Ray! Mr. Tough! Boss Ray is... What are you waiting for? Call an ambulance. No ambulance could be faster than cyanide, though. But immediately, one-armed man died. Money G had been sitting on the sofa as if he'd been paralysed. He kept staring at a body with an incredulous look on his face. He didn't move or say a word until a bodyguard pointed their guns at his head. It's her! The bitch did it! She poisoned the wine! Wouldn't let anyone get away at this point. I stuffed Money G into the trunk of his car. A proper greeting would be waiting for us. Interesting. What's going on here? One-armed man accidentally knocked over a glass. Wine spilled out, turning the white velvet carpet red. The arm was scared clueless and gave me a glance. Get over here and clean everything up for Boss Ray. I knelt before the man and wiped his black leather shoes clean. Picked up a glass and brought it back to the kitchen. When I returned to the room, one-armed man had already left and had a bottle of wine. I heard the housekeeper say the old man had thrown the bottle away because it felt it was jinxed. I had mixed all the poison into that bottle. What was I supposed to do without it? He looked at me. I looked right back at him. We stared back at each other with different sized eyes. Of course, I had bigger eyes. In a moment like this, I had overpowering my fearlessness. However, I quietly moved the milk glass behind me a little. After a standoff had lasted for a while, he stood back up defeated, turned away and walked to a nearby lottery place. Look, I won! Stupid Huban. So you need all three of them, it seems. Kept swallowing the flavoured wine down my own throat. I would rather drink the poison myself than having some innocent bystander die. Mouth was wide open. I grabbed my throat in my hands and fell to the floor. As I gradually lost consciousness, I heard a couple of gunshots. The old man fell in front of my face. His eyes were wide open, full of shock. Blood was oozing out of his forehead, turning the white velvet carpet bright red. So let's see what else happens. I'm gonna knock over a glass. Trevor would probably get me shot, to be honest, but a flavoured wine kept being forced down my throat. Since one-armed man let go of my neck, I could not breathe. Yes, I'm dead again. So yeah, basically, I can't have the forcing on that side. I'm gonna knock over a glass. Exquisite looking glass was smashed into pieces near my feet. One-armed man stared at me with a smile and emptied everything of a bottle onto the floor. The wine was turning a hot white velvet carpet bright red. The red kept spreading, almost touching my feet. I wanted to step back, but I was paralysed by this stare. I couldn't move my body even 1 inch. The old man came around after a little while. Did you poison wine, you dirty bitch? To prove his innocence in front of a one-armed man, he grabbed a fork from the dessert tray and charged towards me in a rage. No! You're the one who should be dead, not me, not now. But there were a large piece of glass on the floor and stabbed at the scumbag. He stabbed a fork into my shoulder, but I'd pushed a glass onto his heart. The old man made a stifled sound and stared at me with death in his eyes. He probably never imagined one day he would die by the hand of one of his lab rats. Realised that nothing mattered now. I knew I wouldn't be able to survive today. Heavenly Father, please forgive me. I pulled the fork out my shoulder and stabbed it towards my own neck. If I had to touch my skin and flesh my own neck, I need to push a little harder to pierce the skin and force into my artery. My right hand was trembling, my eyes were watering up. I had to use my left hand to support the other one. You must be alive to enjoy life. There's no need to die in a hurry. The fork was gone from my hand. The one-armed man flung his coat over my shoulder, still smiling. Then he held my freezing, trembling hands in his big palm. I could not remember the last time I had felt such warmth. I broke down sobbing uncontrollably. Okay. We've got new letters as well, it seems. What else we got? Just those 2 solo ones. And another solo one, I think. I can't go back now. A woman with fiery hair. So we have life is like a box of chocolate milk. 1200 cc's. And a woman with fiery hair. Interesting. There's probably a split one down there somewhere. Like we're split there as well. We're just gonna find out where all the splits are. I mean his always stuck up there. Anyway, that's going to do it for me today. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day. And join me next time when I'm going to probably do Alicia or Lee Wen's. Probably Lee Wen's because she's much higher up than Alicia's. And they're both much more interesting than Chang Yang Min. So until then, thanks for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day and bye-bye.